Welcome to Deep Thought. Embrace that you think differently. Embrace it. And this is a kind of a follow-up to what I was doing yesterday when I was talking about being a proud black nerd. But what I'm talking about today applies to everybody, every single person that thinks differently, even people who are neurodivergent, even those people. Let me say something real quick about that. I don't personally see it as a problem unless it's severe. I don't personally see it as a problem. You have many people who would be considered on the autism spectrum out there doing some stuff. In fact, there's been some thoughts that a couple well-known billionaires are on the spectrum. In fact, I'll shout out one. I can shout him out. He ain't gonna sue me or anything. Elon Musk. He himself said he was on the spectrum. Look how much power he got. You know, some people have thought that Bill Gates is on the spectrum. He might or might not be, you know? And it's not just being on the spectrum. That's just one thing, being neurodivergent. But I'm just saying, for me, when I see them, I just say, well, they just think differently. And, you know, yesterday I talked about black nerds. Now, regardless of the race, nerds might think differently. It's no shame in that. If you think differently, that's actually a good thing. Because, you know, I always talk about the theys. The theys want you following along. The theys would be happy if everybody was just following along and everything, because then they would have control. You will buy their products, depending on what they are, you know. And you get some people, they want everybody to think alike. But I think really, in this society, this is what I think. We need people who see stuff from a different angle. There's nothing wrong with that, just seeing it from a different angle, as long as you're respectful about it. We need people who are going to see something different. There's been many a time I'm looking at something some way, and then somebody give me a perspective, their different perspective, and they see it something different. And I was like, oh, okay. It's helped me out. That's why even on this channel, as long as you're respectful, I don't mind divergent opinions. As long as you're respectful. Now, one of the things I would get, let me just go on a tangent real quick. They would attack. You get some people, they have a different perspective, but then they attack saying, oh, you're wrong. It's like, no. Just say, all you have to do is say, well, I see it differently. And I'll be like, okay. And that's what we need, because that's how you get innovation. That's how we've moved forward as a species. Look, if we didn't have people who think differently, we wouldn't have the inventors who create stuff, or people who might create new philosophies or something like that, or religions, something like that. You know, we'd probably be stuck. Somebody had to think differently to think, hey, why don't we do this with fire, or why don't we do this with the wheel? Somebody had to think differently for us to get here. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're a person and you just see stuff different from other people, it don't mean you're wrong. You know, if 40 million people believe in a lie, it's still a lie. You might see the truth of something, or you might see something different. It's nothing wrong with that. See, what's supposed to happen is people have different angles on stuff. And then people come together. Like somebody might say, come up with the idea. All right, they come up with the idea, but then somebody else come along and say, well, I see a different way we can apply this. But then a third person come along and say, I don't know about that. Okay, and then yet another person come along and say, okay, why don't we change this up a bit, Or another person might say, well, this needs to, we need to put this for the masses. And then somebody might say, this whole thing is whack. But then another person come along and say, okay, this is how we fix it. And then you get to one person and just say, you did all that, you just need this little thing. It's nothing wrong. That's how it's supposed to be. That's really how it's supposed to be. That's, everybody, but see, we all doing it in a community. Everybody see a different angle. Everybody has different skills and everything. Everybody should think differently. But the days have it through, that's one of the things, the days through, the education system, the media, even religions want control. And, that's a problem right there. That is a problem right there. So if you're a person, though, I'm going to tell you what, You know, and just like I was saying about black nerds yesterday, if you're a person, regardless of race, who just thinks differently, even if they say you're on the spectrum, they'll say, no, you just see stuff differently. You just see stuff differently. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Are you functional? Now, if you have problems functioning and everything, that's something. Okay. Even then, they might see something differently. Even then. If they can communicate, well, listen to what they have to say. They'll see it differently. They have a different angle, you know? Even when I talk about relationships, yeah, I have my angle that I see it at, right? But then there's some people who see it at another angle, and I really work hard to like see it from their perspective. I really do. I really do. Because they're going to think differently about it. There's no shame in it. Like, first of all, take off any shame. You don't have to follow the crowd. You're not a robot. You know, you don't have to follow the crowd. Everybody doesn't. You know, like I said, that's how we've gotten innovations and everything throughout human history. Somebody did something on a different thing. You might be that person. You watching this and you might think something different. You might think, oh, okay. Or, you know, you see something, or, you know, you out and about, you know, you might wear your clothes differently. You never know when that become a style. You never know. You might wear your hair differently. But that's you. That's you. It's important that you embrace that, you know? Embrace that you think differently. Embrace that you see stuff from a different angle. We need it. We need it. I'm going to tell you what, every single person out there, every single person has something to add to the planet. There's no exceptions. You know, don't follow the days and be a part of the crowd and stuff. You know, you see something, you know, it might be slight. You don't have to, you know, you might still, I mean, of course, you know, we got to get along with the crowd just to get through life. But, you know, you might see something differently. You might wear something different. All of a sudden, you might be on a job or something. Though I will say, if you're on a job, write it down if you give them any suggestions. But it might be, you might see something differently. You might say, okay, let's do this way. You know, I've been on jobs, you hear some people, and they might seem ordinary, but they say, okay, we can do this particular job this different way, and it'll work. Like, I've worked retail, and one of the things I did in retail was help empty the truck when it came in. We had a woman, and you wouldn't think much about her, but she laid out a different way we could empty the truck, everything, and it worked. I mean, you know, and she was just seeing stuff from a different angle. You know, it's nothing wrong with that. If you have a business or an organization, like say you the CEO of an organization, you know, small business or whatever, or you in an organization, you're a leader. A good leader listens to people. A leader might have a vision, but then somebody else might see something and we might whisper in their ear and say, hold up, I see it this way or something. A good leader will listen to that person. You know, like you look at any CEOs, they always have some advisors. Any CEOs, leaders, kings, presidents, whatever. They have advisors simply because they see differently. A good leader doesn't want a yes man or yes woman. So they're gonna want some people who might call them on something, who might see something that they don't see. And you're that person. You're that person. If you think differently from everybody else, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. It is what it is, okay? Embrace it, okay? So anyway, that's all I have for right now. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.